Oh my goodness. Good morning. I have never felt this rough in my entire life. My Uber's 3 minutes away. I literally look like the scariest I've ever looked. I've overslept. I'm so tired. Oh my god, like early morning flights always to me sound like such a good thing in the moment. I'm literally fighting for my life right now. Like I'm holding back, throwing up. I hear someone walking towards me. Anyway, I'm gonna get my Uber and then I'm gonna I'm not even kidding. I don't think I can talk to you without throwing up, so we're not gonna talk right now. Hi, I'm back in Brighton. Do you wanna know what I spent all my day yesterday doing? Throwing up, sleeping, being sick, feeling like death. And we're gonna talk about all that, because we need to, but I'm back in Brighton. And Mr. Tyler here has not left my side ever since I've came back. He has been so cuddly and so lovable, and exactly what I've needed. But anyway, I have got to tell you what happened. So, oh, he's stuck. So, I can never go back to Paris. I can never go back to France. I am so humiliated. I shall never return to Paris. That's a lie, but we'll talk about it. I need to make some tea. Oh my god, I look so bad. Okay, we're gonna make some tea while I talk to you. But basically, I'm not even being a drama queen right now whenever I'm saying that I'm so embarrassed by myself. It's the truth. All right, so do I even have tea? I don't even know what I have in my kitchen. I like came back to my apartment and it was like really clean and I like thought someone had broken in and like cleaned it until I realized that I actually cleaned my apartment before I left for Paris. That was one of my things. I wasn't gonna leave for the trip before I packed, cleaned. Perfect. I have any tea, going once, going twice. What, Milo? Why are you meowing? I don't think I have any tea. Oh, I do. But do I have any cups? Okay, I'm out on my balcony and it's like still really bright for me. it's like not been my like 24 hours, whatever. So I'm in the process of making my tea and I just got a Diet Coke. I'm literally squinting, it's like a bit intense. I like wonder if I actually have sunglasses. I'm being serious. I'm so sick right now. I'm so beyond sick right now. I have no sunglasses, really? This is upsetting. All right, we're just gonna have to rough it. No sunglasses at all. No problem. So, like I said, I'm making my tea, but I just find this Diet Coke in my fridge, which is covered in cat hairs. Why? I have no idea. But anyway, so yesterday, the last clip I filmed was me outside the hotel, and I was like struggling, like very much so struggling, more so than I had ever done in the past. Hold on, this might be better. Is that better? I don't know, I'm still squinting. It's like really glary outside. More than I had like ever struggled before. And a big reason for that was because I had drank a lot of wine and then gone to bed and had only been able to sleep for like 3 hours or something like that because I had to wake up for, you know, the flight. But another reason for that was I really wasn't talking about this a lot throughout the vlogs in Paris because I really didn't want to, like, there was no real point to bring it up because like why? But like most days I was in Paris I was like violently throwing up, and I had said that I was sick, you know, on my vlogs, whatever, and it wasn't even like a case of that it like really ruined my trip or anything like that. Like I probably had one of the most successful trips to Paris ever, but I had like a really bad stomach bug the entire trip and it was making me throw up most days, and I don't know about you, but I'm someone who definitely has a fear of that. So whenever it happens, I start to like panic more than it ever happened. And so I was anxious a lot of days in Paris as well because I was like being really sick. Again, I got like COVID test and it wasn't COVID. So anyway, it was just a mix of like all of that on that final day. So I, you know, rushed to get out of my hotel room. I'm like still really tired. I've like never been that tired in my life. And my Uber picks me up, and the entire like hour to the airport, I was like feeling myself, like, you know when you're like feeling like the liquids in your stomach be like, I'm gonna come out. I was feeling that. So all I thought was, as long as I hold myself together enough that I don't be sick in this man's Uber, because if I'm sick in this man's Uber, I think that would probably end my life. Like, I'm pretty sure he would take me out, and I would not blame him for that. And also, like, Uber, there's so many restrictions when it comes to, like, if you throw up in the car, like, your rating in Uber can get down, your account can get banned. There's so many things that have happened to my friends that have, like, been sick in Uber, so I've always been scared of something like that happening. Like, I remember there was one day in LA, something like that happened, where I had to get an Uber from Anaheim to LA, and I was really sick, and I was like, in the Uber, and the guy was like, are you okay? And I was like, and I don't know why I thought this was the best thing to say. I was like, yeah, I'm just feeling a little bit gassy. Why did I think that was a good thing to say? So that was very much so like yesterday, but I could not talk. Like, in that video you saw, I don't even know if I'm gonna include it, because it's like, it was me in like my worst state, but it really was bad. Like, I could not talk without throwing up. And so I get to the airport, and I get to the airport with 30 minutes until my gate closes, like 30 minutes until my gate closes. So I've kind of accepted at this point that I'm not gonna get on my flight. So I immediately run into the bathrooms, and they're all full. So I have to like wait for 5 minutes, and I'm like, so then someone comes out of the bathroom stall, and I run in, and I mean, it was just like, the second I knew that I closed that stall door and that I could do my thing, I was in there for like 7, 8, 9 minutes, and it was rough. It was rough. Like, so much so that whenever I had like finished, I was like, oh, I don't think I finished, and I was like trembling, I was shaking, I was like, my legs were like this, my hands were shaking, I was crying, not from me being like, I'm so sad, I'm crying. I was crying from like, I don't know. And I walk out of the stall, I flushed the toilet, of course. I walk out of the stall, and the worker was in there, and she goes like, c'est problem? Something like in French, like, is there a problem? And I was like, no, because I was just trying not to get kicked out of the airport. So I immediately run to departures, and then I'm feeling even more that I have to be sick when I run to departures. And I'm like, it's like make or break the security line. Like, if the security line has people in it, I'm fucked. Like, I'm not getting on this flight. And then I would kind of just accept it, and I would move along with my day. And I wasn't going to extend my trip, but I was going to either fly directly to Belfast for like a day and then come back here, or get on a later flight, whatever I was going to do, right? So there is nobody at security other than the workers, and I was just like, this has not been my day, but maybe this is going to be my day. I breeze through security, and I run to my gate, and I end up getting to my gate, and they're checking me in. You can hear Milo's manic meows from in there. Everyone's boarding, and we're checking in at our gate or whatever. And I'm like, oh, like, one moment, and I run into the bathroom again, because there's bathrooms by the boarding things, and I just do the exact same thing. I'm throwing up again, and I was in there this time for like a minute or something like that, but because boarding was ending, one of the flight attendants comes in and like knocks on the stall, and I'm like, fuck. I feel like I had been like outed by like a teacher who like was gonna give me detention or something like that. So I open the stall, and I'm like, bonjour. I was like trying to like compose myself, and she was like, you speak English? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, you're clearly very sick. And she walked out, and she was like, follow me. And whenever I had exited, she brought me into a medical room, which was beside the boarding. So I was in that medical room for like 5 or 10 minutes, and they were basically just asking me a bunch of questions. They were taking my temperature, they were all like that. Luckily, everything wasn't that bad, and I was able to be like, oh, I was really car sick and whatever, because they were gonna refuse to let me on the flight. And it was just so embarrassing. And then by the time I got out of the medical room, it was like 15 minutes later, 10 minutes later, whatever, everyone had boarded the flight, and I ended up making the flight like 10 minutes delayed, which, whenever I'm on a flight and that happens, when that person walks in, then I'm like, you fucking bastard. And I know everyone was saying that about me, and I was like, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. So I end up arriving back into London. I end up getting an Uber to Brighton, and from 9 yesterday, was it 9 I got in, 9 a.m, I've slept. So from 9 a.m until basically 9 a.m, I've slept. And I was supposed to go back to Derry yesterday and, you know, be with the girls. All I wanted, especially yesterday, was just like to be in bed and for Bonnie and Dolly to be like there with me, because they're just the best cuddle bugs. But they weren't, because they're back in Derry. And I was supposed to fly yesterday, but I slept through the entire day, and my mom and dad were like, don't come back today, do not. And so, you know, I need to come back today, but there's only 2 flights available, and one of the flights takes off in like an hour, and I'm not even ready to sort the, you know, the cats out yet, because I just, you know what I mean. And then the other one takes off at nighttime, but it's like triple the price of what a flight normally is, for no reason. I think maybe because it's like really, what's the word? There's a lot of people booking it, so it's like £400, whenever normally the flights back home are like £50, £40. So obviously I'm not spending that, so it's just been a mess, and I don't know what's happening, and I don't know how I'm getting home, and I'm all over the place, because I need to be back in London for Sunday, because I'm flying from London to New York on Monday. So I need to be back for Sunday, and then I'm like, okay, so Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You know what, I might end up just having to do that, like tomorrow, like fly early morning Thursday, be in Derry Thursday, Friday, Saturday, fly Saturday night, be back here Sunday night. That might be something I do. But anyway, I opened my Diet Coke, and I don't even want it anymore. Let me take a sip. Like, my throat is like, I feel like I've been like smoking for 10 years. I feel like inhaling the fumes of Parisian people have like aged my voice. Hi Tyler, you want to say hi to the people? I hear you're very vocal. Say hi to them. Hi Tyler. It's me and Tyler. BFFs forever. I hear little Milo. Does Milo want to come over? Hi Milo. Hi baby boy. Oh, my chunky monkey Milo. Oh, my chunky monkey Milo. How are we doing, Milo? Tyler, you don't have to be jealous that you're not getting attention right now. See, Milo doesn't even want attention. Hey, buddy. One thing I do want to do is try the new thing that Lindsay Lohan has kind of advertised. It's like all promotion for like her Christmas movie, and it's called Pilk, and it is Pepsi and milk. Now, this kind of just sounds like an ice cream float that we do in Ireland, which is, I wonder if other places do that as well. I would assume it's like Coke and like a scoop of ice cream. I think other places do that, because I feel like I've seen that in New York. So I feel like it's just gonna taste like that, but I've been craving it ever since I've been like really sick. And I don't even think you have to do it with like Pepsi. Like, you can just do it with like Coke or whatever. I mean, maybe not like with like Diet Cokes, because there's like less flavoring, but I definitely want to try Pilk today. Is there something in particular you want? Because he normally does this whenever he's hungry, right? Where he like headbutts himself into me. He only does it when he's hungry, but he's just been fed. Tyler, please. Personal space, possibly? Question mark? Any personal space around here. That would be perfect. I would love some personal space. Ugh, Tyler. Okay, so we're now back from the shop. This is what my hair looks like whenever I don't deep condition it every single day. So we're gonna put the hat back on. We're gonna put the hat back on. Hey! Okay, we are gonna be trying this Pepsi phenomenon going around the internet right now. We are going to give it our best shot. Again, I feel like this is gonna be a very similar, this top I washed like 6 months ago and it's been like hanging here for like 6 months. Something to note. Okay, so what was I doing? Oh, the Lindsay Lohan thing, but I wanted to show you the video first. So here it is. So Pepsi and then milk.
Naughty. Pepsi and milk. Milk.
Okay, so that is it. And obviously this is something that's been around for a while. With like ice cream floats and stuff. I also got milk cookies and I got chocolate chip cookies because that's what I'm feeling right now. Okay, so I haven't drank whole milk or like cow's milk since I was probably, no joke, like drinking it like, I'm gonna drink this. Like not talking about it being in like a coffee or something like that if I don't know. Probably since I was like 15 years old. Like I really do not drink milk. And the reason is, it like just ruins my skin. Like it ruins my skin. I know a lot of people don't drink it because of like the shits or whatever. No, it just ruins my skin. Okay, so I don't know proportions. I'm thinking like Pepsi to like more than halfway fill and then milk on top of it. I also, Pepsi is not my go-to. So if I was to do this, I feel like I would do it with Coke, but I just wanted to do it for the bit, you know what I mean? Okay, so we're gonna do it to like over the halfway mark. I don't know when the halfway mark is because it fizzes up. I'm excited because I always used to get ice cream floats whenever I was sick. Okay, I feel like, is that a good amount? Or maybe just a little bit more Pepsi? And then the rest with milk? Yeah. My dad specifically used to always make me that whenever I was homesick, and I was asking my friends like, what did you eat or drink whenever you were really sick? And a lot of my friends were saying like, oh no, like we would just have like toast and like tea. And I was like, oh okay, I forgot to shake this. So I want to ask you, like when you were sick, or even when you're sick now, what's your go-to like thing to have? Also my parents used to give me Sprite out of the bottle. I think because that shit is so like strong that it just shakes any virus from you. Okay, so now we're gonna put the milk in. It's so lumpy, it's so lumpy. Oh my god, milk is so terrifying. Okay, again, I don't know what my ratio is supposed to be. And you're supposed to mix it, but I really couldn't be bothered to mix it. I'm gonna mix it because otherwise it's gonna like curdle. All right, here we go. Mixing it. I feel like this is definitely more of a milky color than what Lindsay Lohan's was. Now again, if Lindsay Lohan likes it, then I like it. Or wait, no, actually hers is quite milky too. This literally just looks like a ice cream sundae or whatever. Okay, we're gonna try it. I feel like I need to have like a cookie. I need to bite into a cookie and then I'll try it. Who knows? Maybe this will be my Christmas delicacy this year. Who knows? Oh, great way of opening it, Adam. Okay. This is all I want to like. Okay, now the moment of truth. Please be good. Interesting. The carbonation of the Pepsi is throwing me off a little bit, but then the milk kind of provides this like lovely warm feeling. What? That's actually quite delicious. And with the cookie, she was dipping it in. Just the foam. Oh, I like it. It does just taste like, again, the ice cream float. I like it. Very festive. Thank you, Lindsay. It's good. I would try it. It's fun. I know this is just like an advertising thing from Pepsi, but this is something that's been around for a while. It's good. Okay, so here's the plan. I have just showered and I have finally been able to use all of my like bleached hair essentials. So my hair is gonna look quite wet for quite some time today because it has so many oils in it, because I am trying to undo the fact that it has been washed with like a body wash in Paris for the past week. So it's gonna look like this for a bit today because it needs to have as much oil in it as possible with all my different oil plexes. What is Milo doing? Milo! If you're wondering why there's tiles here, it's because before I went on my trip, my windows were kind of bleeding water with the storm that was happening, so I put them up just in case it would happen while I was gone, so that my apartment wouldn't flood. Fun. Okay, I'm gonna go into town right now. I need to get a couple things, nothing that exciting, but just to kind of redo my equipment that I have here. And by that, I mean my face powder and new skincare and stuff like that. Okay, so I just did my shopping there. It was really brief, but I just realized that I'm really not gonna be able to show you the Christmas markets in Brighton because I'm in Brighton so little this month. So I thought before I Ubered back, so this is Brighton, we're in Brighton. I thought before I went back to my apartment, I would show you about it because it's the only time. Hi. Okay, ignore me then, bitch. Fuck you too. By the way, this is like the exact same wheel that was in Paris, but you would think by the sky that it's the warmest day ever. Don't be fooled, it's freezing. Okay, that was really cute, but it's definitely a very small market. I feel that even the one in Derry is bigger than this. I mean, it's really cute. It's really cute. I was literally just walking around. There wasn't that many people in there, so there, you know, I wasn't filming that much in there. I just kind of wanted to get in, get out, because I've seen a lot of Christmas markets, and I really want to show you the Derry one. And then I'll have shown you 3 Christmas markets, and then if I show you New York, that'll be 4 within one Vlogmas. So it was really cute. It's funny how like similar a format all of the different Christmas markets use, but it was definitely very festive and definitely very cute. I just like being at a Christmas market when it's dark outside, because they're very intimate, that you can see everyone. So I kind of like, you know what I mean, like a little dark Christmas market. It was very cute. I have just had the nicest like little afternoon. The kitties are being so like just cuddly and cute. Please ignore the mess. I haven't cleaned that part yet. But like Tyler will not leave my side. The other 2 really couldn't care. But like Tyler is not leaving my side, and he's like my Brighton day one. So whenever we're reunited, I just love it so much. But I love this guy so much. Yeah, the other 2 really couldn't give a shit. Anyway, I'm about to start filming videos. But I want to show you the really pretty sunset that's happening. I must have like no neighbors right now because I haven't seen a single neighbor all day today. I mean, I love it. But look at this really beautiful sunset. Isn't it so beautiful? See, even Tyler's waiting for me right here. This is a sign of missing Dolly, that there's a little tennis ball right there. I didn't even know I had a bowl out here. What the fuck? Has like algae in it. Oh shit, need to clean that up. The dogs were never drinking from that. It was just left out here for reference. But very beautiful. Very beautiful. I mean, like, oh, as you can see, here's the filming room. This is something I wanted to bring up as well. Okay, so as you can see, the filming room, it's the 2nd bedroom. Now, my apartment contract is up in April, and it like renews in March, right? And I really love my apartment. Sorry, we're gonna be in darkness for like a little second. I love my apartment so much. We're aware of this. Remember the thing I told you I need to get fixed? Yeah, the door handle accidentally came off, and I need to get it fixed badly. But anyway, so I like can't even close this door fully, or else I'm locked in here forever. There's all the cardboard cutouts up there, so I'm gonna close this door ever so slightly. Okay. All right. So let me plug in the light, and I'm gonna have a little conversation with you right before we start filming main channel videos, because finally I'm back in my little setup, so I actually can properly film. All right, okay. Turn this light off. We can come over and talk right in front of the light. Give it a second. Give it a second. There we go. Oh, it's really bright, isn't it? Very unflattering. Anyway, so it's really unflattering light. But the sunset in the back. Okay, so this is a 2-bedroom apartment. And this is the second bedroom. Now, my apartment is up in March or April, and I want people's advice on this. I do not need a 2-bedroom apartment. And I feel that I'm wasting my money, because I feel that, like, renting anyway is, like, I, like, cry when my money goes off. And I, like, had that conversation with, like, my nana and granddad, and they're always telling me, you know, you should be, you know, putting your money into, like, a mortgage rather than renting. And my accountant says the exact same thing, and I 100% agree. But the reason I haven't is because, let me actually put my camera up here because I really do want to talk about this for a second. The reason I haven't is because I have no idea where I want to live. Like, I have no idea where I want to live. So I don't want to, you know, because the money that you pay in rent, you know, especially like for this apartment, I could be putting it in a mortgage. I don't know if I want to live in Brighton forever. I don't know if I want to live in Paris forever. I don't know if I want to live in Derry forever. I don't know if I want to, like, live in America. Like, it just seems like tying myself down, and at a certain stage I have to, like, remind everyone around me, like, my life is so uncertain, and that's one of the scariest things about it, but it's also one of the most exciting things about it. Like, I look at it in many different ways. So, for me, I'm just turned 20. I've been doing YouTube, like, for my job, like, a year, and who's to say that this time next year, no one will care about me and no one will watch my videos and then it's not my job anymore. That's also something that can happen, and I'm okay with that. Or, who's to say I'll be doing YouTube for 10 years and it'll be my job in 10 years. Like, it's uncertain, and I have no problem with that. I actually look at that as an exciting thing. I live day by day, month by month, like, so I just wouldn't want to put all my eggs in one basket. Does anyone understand that? So my question is, I'm going to be renting for a while. Against everything that my family is telling me to do, I want to figure out where I want to live first. Now, obviously, moving to Paris is a big deal. And it is something I've been considering for a long time. Now, I'm also realistic in understanding that that's a very big decision, and that's a very hard decision when you have animals. So a lot goes into it. So I don't necessarily know if I will be able to fulfill that within now in April. The animals need pet passports, they need specific vaccinations, and there's so much that goes into it, right? So I'm being realistic about it, and I'm being realistic that I will probably also be in Brighton come April. Like, it's not as easy as being like, I want to move to Paris and I'm going to do it next month. There's so many things that go into it. But my landlord asks for 6 months rent up front. Every single 6 months. And that was originally agreed because I moved from my parents' house in Ireland to my own apartment, and they didn't know if I could afford it. They didn't know if I was, you know, a risk, a liability, whatever. So the landlord made me sign a contract that was, I will pay 6 months up front for the first 6 months to prove that I can afford the apartment, at least for 6 months. So say after 6 months I couldn't afford it, at least, you know, they would know 6 months in advance, if you get me. That and my deposit, whatever. Now, every single 6 months, I've kind of fought back and been like, the 6 months payment was agreed because I was a new tenant. Like, why am I, after 2 years, having to do 6 months every 6 months? And they're like, your landlord, like, they only want that, whatever. So here's my thing. I don't want, at the end of this 6 months, to really be in this apartment again. And now the reason for that is the rent you're paying for 2 bedrooms. And I would much rather, now my accountant is saying this to me, my granddad is saying this to me, my mother is saying this to me, my father is saying this to me, everyone around me is saying that with the amount of money I'm paying for 2 bedrooms, I don't even use this room. No one stays over. My family come over maybe once a month, or once every, 6 months. I should be moving somewhere that has 1 bedroom, has enough room for me and the animals, saving that extra bit, and then, instead of the 2 rooms or whatever, and I completely agree with that. So, am I wrong for saying this to my landlord? That when my apartment's up for renewal, the contract either changes, that I don't have to pay 6 months up front, and I can pay month by month like every other person, or I'm moving out. Now, the reason for this as well is because unfortunately, I'm an adult now and I pay tax and all these different things. So a payment of 6 months coming out of your account every single 6 months, affects my score with the bank a lot more than if it was coming out month by month. So I just wanted to be like, could we do like month by month payment instead of having to take like this huge sum of money out every 6 months and kind of gradually do it month by month like every other person who rents. And they keep pushing back and being like, no, you signed, you know, to do 6 months upfront payment. I don't know if any of this, like, if I'm explaining this well. Do you hear Milo? But I'm pushing back and being like, that was agreed, and it was in the paperwork agreed for the first 6 months. And so, is it bad for me to be like, if this isn't changed, like, I am gonna move out? Because I just think at a certain stage, the more I keep this apartment with this extra bedroom with no one living in here, it's becoming a clutter space. Like, I am literally just using it as storage. And that's so wasteful. And there's apartments in this apartment block that are 1 bedroom, and I think that that is so much smarter than all like this. And it's like, that's where my thinking's at right now. Like, what's gonna happen is, because I realistically don't think I can do Paris between the next couple months. I do not think that that can happen. But all I'm saying is, like, is it wrong for me to say to my landlord, I don't want to have to, you know, pay 6 months worth of rent and a month of deposit, like, or an extra month on top of that for, like, the extra costs that they do with, like, animals and stuff like that. I don't want to do that every single 6 months instead of just being able to pay my rent per month. Like, because it kind of feels like a slap in my face, almost like they don't trust me as a tenant and they don't whatever. And it just affects my bank account every 6 months whenever I pay my tax at the start of the year, it hits your account. And then every 6 months you're paying 6 months rent and an extra month on top of that. Like, those are 2 huge things coming out of your account. And whenever I talk to my friends about it, they're like, oh no, like, we just pay per month with our rent. And everyone I know does the same thing. And I feel like I'm being like, all love to my landlord and all love to my property manager, because they've all been great throughout my stay, and I genuinely mean that from the bottom of my heart. I think they're great. I think the property's amazing. They've been great to talk to. They've been whatever. But I just don't think that it's necessary for me when it was originally, I was like a liability to rent to. I'm not a liability to rent to anymore because we're 2 years in. I've never been late on payments. I've always paid every single thing. My credit score's great, thankfully. But, like, why would I have to do that? Whereas I could just move into another apartment, also within this block with a different landlord, that I'm paying per month. It just, does that make sense? Like, why I'm frustrated by that? Because whenever I sit down with my accountant every 6 months, and he's like, oh my god, like, this huge chunk of money comes out of your account every 6 months, I'm like, yeah, but it wouldn't look that much, and it wouldn't, you know, hit my account so heavy if you were paying per month. Does that make sense? Like, if I was paying rent per month for the entire year, it would look at least less and it would affect my account less than if it would come out of my account 6 months worth of rent and the extra bit every 6 months. Now, I just think at a certain stage, also, my contract, if I was to move in with another landlord, they might also be like, we want to do 6 months by 6 months payment, because that's all I've ever known. And I just feel that it's like, it's almost as if I'm not being trusted to, like, pay, even though I've never been late, I've always been, like, all these different things. I just feel that if I was to move to an apartment down there, move to an apartment in Paris, move to an apartment in Ireland, all these different places, they'd be like, how would we know that you would pay your rent every single month? Because you've only, on paper, paid 6 months by 6 months. And I feel like I'm being done dirty. Like, I feel like, again, I don't mean any disrespect to my landlord or whatever like this. This was a contract I signed, but why can't it change? Like, again, they're all great. I'm not dissing them. I love them. Like, whenever I have property visits, they've always been so nice. I really cannot hype them up enough, and I recommend this apartment block to absolutely everyone. But all I'm saying is, I think it's affecting me in the long run to only have on paper that I am paying, like, 2 times a year for my apartment. It just doesn't make sense why I would still have to do that after 2 years. And I just think that I would love to start a new contract that would be paying per month, get my credit score up, because it's going to affect my credit score the more I pay 6 months by 6 months, because it's not monthly payments. And if they're not willing to do it at this specific apartment, am I wrong for just being like, okay, well, I need to move out? Because that was such a brain fuck of opinions and things that I was saying, so I apologize. my concluding thoughts is my granddad, my accountant specifically, are telling me that my credit score will be a lot better, significantly better, if I'm paying per month in my apartment, not paying what I'm currently doing. So am I wrong for telling my current landlord if the contract will not change, which they've told me they don't want to change it in the past? If they don't want to do that, that's fine, but that's not the contract for me anymore, and move out and actually start to build up my credit score of paying per month. I'm sorry if that was a lot of like blah 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 blah, but it's like, it's something that's so frustrating because when I talk to all my friends about it, they're all getting like a really good credit score, and I have not. My credit score has like not changed in 2 years whenever I've been paying rent for 2 years. And I have like nothing to show for it. Other than, you know, they could vouch for me by being like, yeah, he paid 6 months every 6 months. That's not as good as like every single month on that day I was not late, I paid it, whatever. Does that make sense? And do you understand why I'm frustrated? I just like, maybe I'll reach out to them and they'll be like, yeah, let's change the contract, if they know I'm serious about moving out. But that's why I'm like, if they don't want to do that, is it worth my while to just move into a different apartment? Probably within the same block. Like, it'll be like the exact same apartment, just a different landlord, with a contract that's by month by month. I just, like, I'm so scared of being an adult, and I want to be doing everything correctly, and I feel that I'm at the age where I should be making my best effort forth to have a good credit score, have, you know, good credentials by my name when it comes to like being on time for payments, whether that's just like my phone bill or whatever like that. My granddad has really instilled that in me, and I feel that I'm not fulfilling that right now with the current contract. Again, this was the contract that I signed, but I signed it, you know, because I had never rented before, so it's no one's fault except for mine. But I'm just saying that, is it okay for me, or am I overreacting that if, you know, they don't want to change the contract, that I just move out? And now again, there's other properties in this apartment block that I could move into. I'm pretty sure they're all 1 bedrooms, which is why I was saying at the start of this, like, I don't use this room anyway, so like, if I had to, you know, downgrade to a 1 bedroom, I really wouldn't care. But it's like, I'm just so scared of being an adult, and I want to be doing everything correctly, and I think I really got like a stick up my ass whenever I was looking at apartments in Paris, and they were like, your credit score needs to be good, you need to have a good like referral, like paying per month with your rent, and I'm like, oh my god, I have nothing to show for that because I've been doing 6 months by 6 months. I'm sorry that was a lot. I know that a lot of you, 90% of you don't care, and I'm sure most of you skip past this. I do not blame you, but it's something that's weighing so heavily on me because I get so stressed whenever I get to the time of renewing my apartment, because I'm like, I know I really shouldn't be doing this. I should be like getting a, you know, a different contract. I don't know. Let me know.